We are back. Believe we're back with energy from all the nourishment that we've got, and we are moving on. So without any waste of time, I'm going to call to the podium the next speaker. And then if I hear that there are questions that came in via WhatsApp, I wish to address them towards the end. I will address those questions towards the end. After the two speakers have spoken, maybe some of them will be answered by the coming two speakers. So we are moving on. Can I move on? Are we okay? Can we go on? All right, let's get into it. Our next speaker, he's an award-winning author, he's a coach, and a pharmacist. He is currently the acting CEO of Nhlanhla Hospital. He is also the current president of the African Association of Hospital and Institutional Pharmacists, and a member of the International Pharmaceutical Federation African Region Steering Committee. For almost 10 years or a decade, he has been in this group. He spent his time coaching and training different organizations and government on the subject of personal development, leadership, public health, and family philosophy. He is recognized among the main guardian 200 young South Africans in health. He also has a podcast called Life Mastery with Nhlanhla. He has this famous words that he says, where we help you become the best version of yourself so that nobody can ignore you. You should go to that podcast. Please have the name of that podcast. He published 2 personal development books. These are the ones that I was telling you about. Step to the next level. Finish with a bang. It's the one that we were just talking about. This book has won an award in the 2023. In 2023, the year 2023. It's an award-winning book. That's why we call him an award-winning author in the African Honorary Authors Awards. He is here because he has accomplished so much in such short years, and we need to know the formula. He's going to talk to us about careers. So if you can't be a businessman, maybe you can propel or do well wherever you are in your career. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we welcome and honor Mr. Nhlanhla Mafarafara. A round of applause, please. A round of applause.
Good afternoon, my daughter. Good afternoon, my daughter. Let us give a round of applause to Mr. Abednego Makine. So what you have done, that song was playing it for you. That you are a pioneer. You have gone just a little bit ahead of us, to see first, to see further, and to see ahead. By just talking to one man, you are influencing a family. And by influencing a family, you are influencing a community. By influencing a community, you are influencing a nation. If you can touch one man, the world will change. So let's give him a round of applause and take it. To the other speakers that have spoken, Dr. Libya just left now because he's traveling across the country to another country. That's why you saw us taking pictures there. We were not undermining the event because we wanted to have a picture with him before he leaves, right? And thank you for this. And Mr. Powers, I think I need to pay lunch and have some lunch with you. It's fair. and learn some few things about franchising and so on. So I speak on family a lot. I speak on self-mastery and personal development, and I speak on public health and leadership. So today I am in my shoes as a coach, speaking on personal development and self-mastery in the area of your career. And what I'm going to talk about will cut across whether you are an employee or an employer. A career does not necessarily mean you are employed. Be having a business, it's your space, okay? You could be a musician. So I'm going to just talk on a few things within that topic, which I have called the next level, okay? Positioning your career for the next level. So I'm going to talk about four things. Building internal value. Number two, I'll talk about common errors and disruptors of excellence. Number three, I'll talk about avoiding living a tragic life, which is what I talk about in this book, Finishing with a Bang, because there's three kinds of finishes. There's one where you finish as if you were never born. You know those kind of people that in their, what do you call that thing that we read at the end? Obituary, I would say he was born, went to school, got married and died. You know, that's like you didn't exist, okay? And then the second, that one, it's fine to die like that. If you can't be in the last one, be in the first one. You'd rather be born, go to school, get a job, get married, give birth, and die. At least you will remember your children. Then the second group is the ones that finish in a painful and an embarrassing way. Because many of us finish like that. That is what Dr. Levy was talking about, those who commit suicide. They were running so nice, but they died as if life was a problem. Okay? So we help you avoid those two. And the third one is when you finish with a bang. When you finish, somebody starts. Hello? You see, men that are seated here, when they finish whatever they are doing, somebody must start. Your conclusion must be an activation for the next generation. And that's what I talk about in this book, Finish with a Bang. And the next level, I talk about the steps to project your life to the next level in such a way that you live a life where nobody can ignore you. You see, it's one thing to live a life, and it's another to live a life in such a way that when people have a problem, your name comes into the debate. But not as the one who caused the problem. It comes into the debate to say, we have a problem, who can help us solve it. Hello. I get a little bit, you know that those men that when a family needs to have a conversation, they wait for you to go to sleep. Or if it's in a family gathering, they make sure that the meeting starts and ends before you arrive, or it starts when you leave, because you have a problem. But there are those people who nothing starts before you begin. You have to arrive. They say, no, we can't start before Mafarafara. Do you understand? Even if you are in business, they know that if you are in that space, the meeting produces good results because you were there. I'm hearing a big feedback. I'm not sure if you can lower it, but you know what I'm saying. So let's leave that. So this is what I want to talk about. There's a certain man who his name is Ali Hafid. You can Google him. He used to own a farm. He's an African man. He owned a farm. Some years ago, the farm was doing well. And then he started having problems. You see this meetings, sometimes they're good, and sometimes if you're not ready for the next level, please don't talk about it and don't ask anybody questions. Go and think and chew and then wait for the time where your mind is matured enough to conceive the seeds that you are sowing in your brain. Now this man had a conversation with other farmers, and they were talking about hearing that other farmers are having diamonds in their farms. Now their farms are being converted into diamond mines. But in his farm, he doesn't see diamonds, so he sold the farm. He sold the farm to go and do diamond prospecting, right? He traveled countries and nations and kilometers and flew looking for diamond. Isn't that all of us are looking for some ching-ching in some way, right? So he went looking for diamond. He never found it. Until when he realized that, look, I can't find anything. And then he went and jumped and threw himself into moving waters, and nobody knew where he died. Looking for diamond. But the person that we sold the diamond, the farm to, one day he was walking in a creek and saw this moving water, and then he said this blue shining thing. He's like, what is this? He picks it up, goes in his house, just put it somewhere on the shelf and says, this is a beautiful gem. It's a beautiful stone, it's shining. I like just it, having it decorating. And then somebody visited his house. You know, that's what Mr. Powers, because they see opportunities. So Mr. Powers visits him, figuratively, and says, what is that? Can I see it? So this is a diamond. The farmer said, no way, it's not a diamond. It's been just here in my farm. I just found it in the water. Come on. Mr. Powers said, it's a diamond. Are you sure? Yes, it's a diamond. He said, you can sell this thing and you will never be poor again for the rest of your life. The men take it to those who polish diamonds. They found it to be the biggest diamond ever discovered in Africa. They sold it and they found even few more. It is now called one of the biggest diamond mines in Africa. What happened? That's where some of us are seated. We are seated on diamonds. We will die in the lake committing suicide looking for diamonds, but we're sitting on it. And that's where Africa is, right? The reason why many Africans are poor is because they are walking on mines undiscovered. Hello? You see, we're walking on productivity that has never been tapped into. Because we are waiting for somebody to call us to submit a CV. So I came here to tell you, stop looking for somebody to hire you. Start looking for problems to solve that you can convert into solutions and sell them for money. You see, the people that earn a lot are not the people that have big titles, but it's people who are able to solve important problems in society. So even if you're an employee, you see, do you know that there are some employees that you don't know in your own company? Do you know, they could be, you've seen this guy walking, you know when all the dating or Mona Zayana, and you don't know his name. When they say, the memorial service and he died, who died? You know those kind of things? Who died? But then there's some people, when they die, it's a big bang. It's like, but no, not that one. Not that one. Okay? So you need to reinvent yourself as such a person that, because it is believed that, I remember this gentleman, his name is Nhlanhla Mafarafara, he said, you do not earn more for being put in the hour, you earn more for the value that you extract out of the hour. So, the question is, what is your value and how much do we get out of an hour of the time? Hello? Because we could have a conversation, I know, if I could have lunch with these two gentlemen right here, it would be very expensive. But sometimes if I could have, for you, it's possible to have lunch at Clean Pie. A friend of mine posted on Facebook that he was taken for lunch by a friend and a mentor of his, and his lunch was 1,700 rand. And what were you eating? 1,700 rand. And that is when you have prestige. You are invited in the right meetings to have the right conversation with the right people for the right reasons. Some of us are avoided all the way. So it takes intentional positioning on your own to say, I will not be ignored. You see, we were talking about family, and some men are ignored by even their wives. Because when the man speaks, people get confused. It's better if the man didn't speak. So, a few months ago, I was celebrating my 10th wedding anniversary. So we went around looking for service providers for the celebration. And I looked for a photographer and I looked for sound. The first photographer quoted me 1,500. The second photographer quoted me 3,000. The third one quoted me 15,000. The fourth one quoted me 27,000. All of them are going to take photos. What are they going to do? Photos. Using what? A digital camera. Full stop. I needed nothing. I just needed photos. No print out, no album, just photos. Then I went for sound. The first guy quoted me 7,000. Same one. The other one quoted me 16,000. The third one quoted me 31,000. And I gave them the same specifications. A number of microphones, a set of drums, a piano. They had to bring their own piano. 2 pianos. They had to bring their own bass guitar and a lead guitar. And a lead speaker and a bass speaker. These different prices are not because they are having cheap material. All of them told me they are using JBL. What is the problem? Value. Value. The one who quoted me 1,500 rand for photos and the one who quoted me 27,000 rand, it's how they perceive themselves as valuable or less valuable. They have put a price on the product that they sell. So what is the price of the product called you in the marketplace? You see, some of you, when you resign, the company does not feel like they've paid a lot. But some of you, when you have worked only for 2 years, when they pay you your severance package, they feel it. It's the value that you provide. This gentleman, they know, if one of their managers was to leave, or if one of their cleaners was to leave, who would they worry a lot about paying? Let me give you that. Elon Musk once said, you are paid in direct proportion to the problems you solve. So I treat myself, even now as a consultant, if you spend time with me, I will send you an invoice. Because I want you to know, even if I discount that invoice to 0, I want you to know how much my time is worth for you. So, another story is told of this gentleman. He was an engineer of some sort. They invited him in this company to come and solve an electromechanical problem. They say, hey, come, we're struggling, and then he comes in a few minutes later, then everything starts working. He sends an invoice, writes $10,000 US. They said, nonsense. You did not even spend a minute, you just arrived now, and everything is working, and charging us $10,000 US. He changed the invoice. And then he wrote, for the time I spent, $1. For knowing what to touch, 9,999. So let me tell you, it's not about your presence. That no, do you know you could be present and nothing happens? So it's about the value in your presence. That is why some of you, when you are not there, your children are so happy. And some of you, when you are not there, your children are frustrated because they feel direction is missing here. Hello? Are you with me? Yes. You are right? Yes. My daughter? Yes. Right? Yes. Okay. All right. So let me move on. So what do you need to do now? You need to create value from within. You don't create value by being given a position. No. You create value by building an attitude that attracts the things that you need. Because, you see, when you have a stinking attitude, you attract stinkiness around your life. When you have a good, healthy attitude, you attract good things. You see, light attracts light. There's an energy that transcends from inside of you. From what you see, the Bible says a man thinks, so is he. So what do you see? Look at yourself. You can take a phone right now and look at the mirror of yourself on the phone. When you look at this guy's ugly, that's what comes to you. You go home, man, you are very tired, because you've reduced the value of your man. When you enter your home, lift up your neck, lift up your chin, and say, there is no. Yes. Hello. Not with arrogance, because honor comes with you. But let me not go too far. Okay? So There are people, when you think of paying them, you feel like you are losing. And there are people that when you don't pay them, you feel like you are losing. I want to repeat that statement. There are people, when you pay them, you feel like you are losing. And there are people, when you don't pay them, you feel like you are losing. Which one are you? We all know Beyonce, the singer. She's on a global tour now. It is said that at the end of her tour, she would have, in ticket sales only, collected $2.5 billion on one tour. No, we're not talking about the food in the restaurants, no. Ticket sales, $2.5 billion. Hello. But I know if we were to invite Kelly Kuma about 40,000 rand. So it's heavy movement. Heavy movement influences the direction of the economy where she hosts the concerts. Are you okay? Yeah. So what is it that you're building in your career, and what does it influence in your movement? I've been a pharmacist for 10 years, for 13 years, right? And in the 13 years of me being, I don't have a business like they do. My business is talking. And now I've learned something. You spoke to me and I thought like, well, why are you saying that if you own a business and you are in the business and you're not in the business and then I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, happening here. And you start coaching, getting other coaches in my name. So, your movement must be very significant. In all my life, when I started, I said to myself, I will not be at the bottom. I will not be at the place where decisions are announced. I will be at the place where decisions are discussed. So, there's a poem by a guy named Bradley Whiteford. He says, infuse yourself with action. Don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen. Make your own hope. Make it happen. And whatever your beliefs, honor your Creator. Not by passively waiting for grace to come down from upon high, but by doing what you can to make it happen by yourself right now, right here. Don't wait. So there are rules of excellence. The first rule is called the architect's philosophy, which means that you cannot build what you have not yet drawn. The first rule of excellence is an architect's philosophy. You cannot build what you have not yet drawn. Meaning you cannot go where you have not seen yet. Whether it could be just about the family. You can't lead your family to a place you have not visualized. You see, when you wake up in the morning, you speak to yourself and say, this is me, I'm a millionaire. And you know in your bank account there's 1,000 rand. But you're going. You see, every man that you see who has accomplished something significant, number one, they believe in themselves. Number two, they sold themselves doing what they believe in themselves. And therefore, the resources get moving towards them. The universe has a tendency of making a way for those who know where they are going. So if you have not yet designed the framework of your life, don't be surprised when we come back next year and you're still broke as you entered this morning. Because the architect's philosophy says, you sit down, you visualize the structure, you then draw it on paper, and then you model it as a little bit, and then you work it out to reality. And then you also invite others to contribute. That is, there's no man who's successful, who has achieved anything significant in life, walking alone. The second one is the mathematician's philosophy. You cannot solve a problem without a method. So, you get married, the wife says, where are we going? He says, we're gonna live in Center. So how? I will see. You must write down the method. How are you going to do it? Some of the methods are not necessarily written down, but you must know how. Hello? Do you know why there's a lot of get-rich-quick schemes? It's because people don't care about the method. If you come to me and I say, you say, Mr. Mafarafara, can you be my coach? I'll say yes. And then the first coaching session will be about assessing who you are. The second coaching session doesn't matter where you are. It's about setting goals. The point of setting goals is not about the goals. We're not interested in the goals. We're interested in the person that you become by using the method of chasing your goals. So if you can't even stick your energy to just achieving one small goal, why should we give you energy? We spend more time on you to achieve bigger goals. One of my mentors said to me, you know, Mafarafara, it takes the same energy that you use to make 10,000 to make 1 million. And I said, what? He said, it takes the same energy that you use to make 10,000 the same way that you make 1 million. I said, what? He said, it takes the same energy. Okay, please explain it. He said, for you to make 10,000, you must know that you need to make 10,000. You must want to make 10,000. You must exert energy to make 10,000. You must be disciplined not to quit before you make 10,000. It is the same energy to make 1 million. And it takes the same energy to squander it in reverse. The third philosophy is called God's philosophy. Know why, know what you are doing, know why you are doing. Hello. In God's philosophy, there's an element of dominance. You must identify a space in which you want to be a master and craft yourself and position yourself in such a way that nobody refuses to pay for that service that you're offering. You see, Mr. McKenna, there are so many of us who speak on personal development. Hello. There are so many. There are so many entrepreneurs in this world. There are so many. But there are some of them that even if you to try to listen to them, you will not understand what is going on. Okay? They can do, but they can't teach. You know it happens again? So, but if you dominate, you become a force. Not only in action, in principles that somebody can cope and repeat. We can watch you from a distance and model your action and get to the same results that you've achieved. Hello? Now, when you are in dominance, it doesn't mean you are suppressing others. Dominance also means that you are pulling others as well to the same sphere of influence as you are. The fourth one is called the sailor's philosophy. Where's the left hand? It's called the sailor's philosophy. Here it says you cannot sail if you do not understand the tide. You know, back in the day, they were using those rafts with the sail on top. They had to wait for the movement of the air. If you change by a quarter of a degree and allow that quarter of a degree to move like that for 30 minutes, you are lost forever. So, this is what it means. If you're going to build marriage, you need to understand that sometimes there are difficulties. You don't have to know the answers of how to solve everything, but you need to know that sometimes you have a problem, so be ready to go look for an answer. If you start a business, he said, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But if you don't, you think you're going to business thinking that everything will be good. The day it's bad, you will quit and run away. Or commit suicide. There's a gentleman, his name is James Michael. He was a German billionaire. In 2006, I think he was in the top 100 billionaires. Right? Global billionaires. He was big. I mean, he was big. He had hundreds and hundreds of employees across the world. In 2008, global recession. This man said, this is difficult. 2009, he jumped in front of a speeding train and died. Billionaire. Do you know why he jumped? His family wrote on a media release, it's in my book, Finished with a Bang. They wrote, he could not handle the difficulties. He could not handle the difficulties. He so built this thing, knowing that when I say it, it's going to be tough. The fifth one, the law of the mirror. See yourself better. Take time to reflect on your inside, on your attitude, on your actions, on how you spend your time. You know, right now I know when I finish here, some of you will just be scrolling on WhatsApp status for 2 hours. Then from there you go on TikTok for 40 minutes. And then you go on Instagram. Listen to me. Come, reflect on how you are expanding your energy. You see, that these things that we're talking about, there's someone who's hearing them. but there are many of them don't. Because when we finish here, they will say it was powerful. Oh! The speakers. What was power? Oh. And it ends there. But others will say, how was the seminar? Yeah. And then they start elaborating what they learn because they take time to reflect. The sixth one, the law of association. If you can take your phone right now and look at the numbers that you keep on dialing, then you ask yourself, what do we talk about? What do we spend our time talking about? You see, you are the sum total of 5 different frameworks of thinking that influences your brain. So there are certain 5 people or 6 people that you are always listening to, all the time. Intentionally and unintentionally. When you think, you're like, I want to listen to this one. I want to listen to this one. There's a study that was done around hip-hop music sometime around in the early 90s, and they wanted to check the influence of hip-hop music. So they studied boys in the US who listened to hip-hop music, and then they found these 2 guys. They watched them over time. And one day it is written that these guys, they entered inside the car, closed the doors, played hip-hop music as loud, no smoking, no drugs. They just played loud music so loud for a few minutes. And they got out with guns and knives and started stabbing and shooting people around them. And they asked why. The influence of the music created rage inside of them. Just by listening. I can tell you, you can be a better person just by listening to what you listen to. Let me leave that. So what are the common errors? Number 1, some people don't do well because they major in minors. People major in minor things. You specialize in less important things. You see, you specialize, you must be careful not to specialize in knowing what's not important. You know where everybody has gone. You know all the events that have happened. You know all the trends that have happened. You know all the soccer stars. You know all the movie stars. But you can't start anything that can be anywhere income. Number 2, faulty thinking. This is the most common one by far, and it's the biggest in Africa. Africans believe that a white man robbed them. In South Africa, they almost 30 years after we still believe that the white man is robbing us, but we have not changed our actions to copy what they are doing to make money. They build a university. They agree amongst one another and say, let's build the university. They say, you pay, we build the university for our children so that we can teach them our values and our culture. But an African will ban school. So you need to get rid of victim mentality. Don't think that everybody's against you. Most of us are against ourselves. Right now. Number 3, shifting the responsibility for personal development to others. Let me tell you, you will never be, you cannot outsource thinking. Hello? Are you there? You right? You cannot outsource thinking. Thinking cannot be outsourced. You outsource thinking and you pay, but you first think about what you want them to think about. If I run a business, I first think about what they must think about, and I tell them, this is what I want you to achieve, think further. And I will pay you for thinking. You see, thinking is the most difficult job in the world. That's why so few people do it. Thinking. Thinking is the most difficult job in the world. That is why very few people do it. People who think and what? People who do. You see, the Bible. So if you're not a Christian, please pardon me. I'm not imposing my belief on you. I put it that as a disclaimer. But this is what I read in the book of Proverbs. Have you seen a diligent man? He will not sit before men of obscure value. He says, a diligent man rules, but a lazy man will be put to forced labor. This is what it means. When you are lazy to think, you will work by force. Yeah. Somebody decides what time you wake up and what time you sleep. Number 4, the biggest reason close here, Mr. McGinn. Maybe we'll close here because we don't have time. He was telling me, no, we don't have time. No, you can invite me again. Okay? Mr. McGinn was telling me 2 days ago that this meeting was gone 5 years ago. This conference that we are attending today, the vision was conceived 5 years ago. And one of the men that was supposed to be here standing and doing, I'm sure he was going to be talking about this topic, the late Dr. John Nhlanhla. I started my journey after listening to him exactly 20 years ago today. 2003. He spoke about the power of a dream, and he said the dream is a bridge that never comes to an end. You will never arrive at success. He tells a story. He says, as I sit down, there was this couple. They won a ticket to go on a cruise, husband and wife. Excited to go on a 7-day cruise. Oh my God. They're going to pick us up in a limousine. Then they went on a cruise. Arrived at the cruise, they locked themselves in a balcony room, watching the sea and the dolphins jumping. They carried their own pusher. They carried their own dry vegetables and everything. They carried all the food they will need into the cruise. A cruise where they were supposed to eat food cooked by master chefs. Where they were going to watch free concerts and swim in swimming pools that are warmed up. They said, on the last day, the captain of the cruise said, everybody that is invited in the banquet, but there's 2 seats missing. I know everybody checked in. Go find them. They went on the last day, the last night before they turned to the harbor to get off. They find them. Oh, you're not right. When finally arrived, it's so nice. We enjoyed the bed. They were making their own bed. People were supposed to get out of the room. Somebody would come and change the linen. For 7 full days, they used their own linen. Hello. Now, they said, you were not supposed to be here. They said, this is we cleaning the let's go. That's at the end because they arrived. They have missed an opportunity of a lifetime. You must never, ever in your life arrive at anything. So, 3 things you must do. Don't live without a vision. A visionless man is a directionless man. And a man without direction will be told by anything and anyone, anywhere, where to go and what to do. Number 2, I'm closing, I'm leaving, I'm going to sit down. Do not allow greatness to die in you unreleased. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but it is what will let die in us while we're still alive. Dr. Miles Monroe always said that the wealthiest place is the cemetery, because there lies books unauthored, music unwritten and unproduced, movies unwritten, costumes undesigned, businesses never started, buildings undesigned and unbuilt. Hello, don't die with greatness. And lastly, never allow yourself to be a tool in the head of dreamers. Dream.
Call the cops when you see call the cops. They say those people came out gun blazing and shooting each other. What are you becoming? Thank you very much, Mr. Mafarafara, for that talk.